Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ikea. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. You are definitely a real one, but you already knew that. So today's video is all about fragrances that I enjoyed in the month of May. Y'all, this year is flying by. I cannot believe we are already in June. We are halfway through the year. And again, it's crazy. So I have been wearing a few fragrances quite frequently in the month of May. And I wanted to share those with y'all in case you were interested. So if you're interested in knowing about my favorites for May, then stay tuned. And before we get started, be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, of course. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and do not forget to click on that notification bell so you do not miss out on a single video. So the first fragrance that I have been wearing quite often in May is from Kilian, and this is Princess. Actually, the reason why I was wearing this quite often is because I honestly forgot about it. Like, this fragrance actually got lost in my collection for some reason over the year, and I hadn't worn it in a long time. So when I was cleaning out my perfume collection and tidying everything up, I was like, why haven't I worn Princess? This fragrance is everything. This is a beautiful, sweet marshmallow fragrance. There's lemon in here, there's ginger, there's green tea, there's also vanilla and a marshmallow. This fragrance is light and airy. It's sweet, but not overly sweet. And honestly, it is the perfect fragrance if you want like a nice year-round scent that's sweet. Again, I don't know why I hadn't been wearing this because I absolutely love Kilian's Princess and I can't get enough of it. So yeah, I'll probably be reaching for this a little bit more as we go into June as well, because again, it's the perfect sweet fragrance, especially if you don't want something overly sweet. But yeah, Kilian's Princess I wore quite a bit in the month of May, and I will continue to do so as we go into June. Y'all, this next fragrance has been getting worn like crazy, and honestly, this fragrance gets worn year-round. If you can't tell, it's basically gone, and I probably should consider purchasing another one, but I am obsessed with this fragrance. It's Balda from Byredo. This is just a fresh citrus fragrance, and it is one of my favorite everyday scents. I like to travel with this fragrance. Like whenever I'm in the airport, this is what I typically have on. I get a ton of compliments on this one. It has lemon, there's some other citrus notes in here, there's also some musk, there's a little bit of African flower in here, and there's vetiver. I know a ton of people are like a little iffy about vetiver, but to me this smells so good. I cannot get enough of this fragrance. It is on my top 10 fragrances for life. It was on there last year. It'll be on there this year because I really love Balda from Byredo. I can't get enough of it. It's been used up. You can see the package and the labels all falling off, but I love this so much. So if you like a fresh fragrance that's also a little aromatic, a little aquatic, it smells like you just kind of came right out of the shower, then I would definitely recommend Balda from Byredo. I have been on a Byredo kick lately for some reason, and I've also been wearing Mojave Ghost. This fragrance is also very fresh and clean. It's also skin scent like, but this one is just a little bit more floral. And this fragrance has some musk in here. There's also some orris. There's a little bit of violet in here. There's also a little bit of sandalwood. I love this fragrance. This is an easy reach fragrance if you want to just grab it and go. If you're a person who likes fragrances but you don't like them to be overwhelming, you like something lighter that sits closer to the skin, I would definitely recommend Mojave Ghost. I actually still get a ton of compliments on this one as well, even though, like I said, it sits pretty close to the skin, but it's still a really nice, clean, everyday fragrance, and I can't get enough of it. I wore it all month, and I'll probably be reaching for this one all throughout the year because this is a great anytime fragrance. Y'all, May, we had some great weather, and I have just been wearing fragrances that kind of put me in the mood for summer. one of those fragrances that I have been reaching for is from hofstasiage, and this is their Mickey Mouse fragrance. This is a beautiful coconut fragrance. It's more of a coconut and vanilla scent. There's coconut water in here, there's vanilla, there's also some musk, a little bit of bergamot in here as well, and cardamom. And I cannot get enough of this fragrance for the warmer weather. I really typically pull this out in the warmer months, and it just smells absolutely beautiful. It's an elegant fragrance. To me, this is like a very sophisticated, rich woman type of fragrance. And honestly, when I just want to elevate and feel like, you know, a little bougie, then I pull this out, and that's what I've been doing in the months of May. But yeah, Mickey Mouse smells absolutely phenomenal. It's more of a watery coconut fragrance. It's not like super creamy, but I still love this nevertheless. And honestly, I just can't get enough of it. So this is another fragrance from hofstasiage that I have been reaching for in May. I also wore Wonder Woman like nobody's business in May. This is also from hofstasiage, and I love me some Wonder Woman. When people ask me, which is actually quite often, what are my top 5 fragrances from hofstasiage, Wonder Woman is always at the top of the list because this fragrance just smells so good. It reminds me of like an orange creamsicle. I don't even know if that exists, but that's what it reminds me of. Do y'all know like those Flintstone popsicle things? They like push pops or whatever. That's what this reminds me of. I don't even think there's an orange note in here. There are some citrus notes, but this is more of like a vanilla powdery fragrance. And when I say powdery, more like powdered sugar, even like, you know, the powder that's on marshmallows. That's what this is giving me. But there's vanilla in here, there's pink pepper in here, there's musk, there's even a little bit of sandalwood. Y'all, I love this fragrance so much. It actually kind of gives me similar vibes to Orchidee Vanille from Van Cleef & Arpels. If you smell that fragrance, it's kind of powdery as well, but that one leans a little bit more chocolatey. This one leans a little bit more creamy and vanilla. But y'all, hofstasiage did their thing with Wonder Woman. I have a backup of this fragrance, and honestly, this is the one that I will repurchase over and over again because it is just so beautiful. It is so lovely, and I can't get enough of it. So I attended quite a few concerts in the month of May, and I think for 2 of the concerts, I actually wore Cherry Garden from hofstasiage, and one time I layered it with Lost Cherry from Tom Ford. One time I wore it on its own, and both of the times that I wore it for the concerts, they were a hit. This fragrance smells so good. It's a light, beautiful floral fragrance, and it's not like a sweet, super sweet cherry. It's more like a cherry garden, or, you know, like an actual cherry from a garden, hence the name Cherry Garden. But in this fragrance, there's cherry blossom, there's also almond in here, there's vanilla, and some white musk and sandalwood. Now, this is also a really great mass appealing fragrance to me from hofstasiage. This is one that I would probably recommend as like a blind buy worthy fragrance. I feel like it's not super overwhelming. It's not even super like unique to where the fragrances are kind of, or the notes are off-putting. This is a really good fragrance for the masses, and I honestly love it. I wore it at nighttime when I attended the concerts, but I also wear this during the daytime, so it's great for any kind of occasion. And I would say if you're trying to get into fragrances from hofstasiage, this is a great one to check out. So this is Cherry Garden from hofstasiage. I wore this all last month, and I will definitely be wearing it more as we go into June. So this next fragrance I think is like the perfect transitional fragrance as we go from spring into summer, and I've been wearing it quite a bit during the daytime. This is from Valentino, and it is Voce Viva. This is the original one. I also really like the intense version, but the original one is just a little bit more lighter. It's more of a sparkling white floral and citrus fragrance in here. There is some lemon, there's a little bit of mandarin orange. You also have some beautiful white floral notes like jasmine in here, and there's some orange blossom, vanilla as well, a little bit of patchouli and bergamot. Y'all, I can't get enough of this fragrance right here. I feel like Valentino does a really good job with their fragrances, especially for like a designer fragrance brand. They really do a great job, and this is perfect. Again, as we're transitioning into the really, really, really warm months, this is fantastic. Again, this is a great anytime fragrance. I wear it all throughout the year, but it especially shines in the summertime or just even in the warmer months. But yeah, Valentino's Voce Viva, it's so good. I'm just gonna spray it because I love it so much. I can't get enough of it. And they do have an intense version, like I mentioned before. I do like the intense version as well, but this original one, you can't top the original for this one. Voce Viva is everything. If you haven't gotten your nose on this one and you were curious about it, it has my stamp of approval. So I would definitely recommend checking Voce Viva out. This next fragrance gives me all the vibes, okay? It gives me warm weather vibes. And in May, like I mentioned before, the weather was nice most of May. It was a little rainy, but most of May, the weather was nice where I live. And this fragrance is one that I pulled out quite often. So I ended up picking this one up during the Sephora sale that we had back in April. And it was a love at first sniff for me. I was actually surprised. I didn't think that I was going to enjoy it just by reading the notes, but it was a love at first sniff. Now, this fragrance, again, was a surprise to me because I don't typically gravitate towards fig notes, but this does have fig in it and it's absolutely beautiful. There's a pear note in here that's really nice. There's musk, there's jasmine, there's even a coconut note in here as well. And all the notes blend together so nicely in this fragrance. This is a fruity fragrance, but it's also even a little powdery and a little jammy. It's not like super like syrupy sweet. It's a tad bit jammy, but it's more on the juicy, fruity side to me. And then when it dries down, it just becomes a little bit more warmer and a little bit more powdery. But Sun Fruit from Ellis Brooklyn is just so beautiful. I would definitely recommend checking this one out as well. I believe this is their most recent launch that they've had. This came out either in March or April of this year, and I really do enjoy this a lot. This is an easy reach fragrance. If I don't really know what to wear, I've just been kind of grabbing this one. It's been sitting at the front of my perfume collection, and I've just been grabbing it, spraying it on, and I really enjoy it. Now for the performance, to me, this is pretty moderate. The longevity is about 6 hours on my skin before it becomes a skin scent. But even with the moderate longevity, I still enjoy the fragrance and I just keep respraying it because that's what I do. But I really do love Sun Fruit from Ellis Brooklyn. Another fragrance that I've been reaching for quite a bit, and I actually used it all up and had to purchase the full-size bottle, is from BDK Fragrances, and this is Bouquet de Hungry. Now, I actually had a travel size of this and I was wearing it all last summer, and once the weather got warmer here, I'm telling y'all, I started drenching myself in that. I used up the entire travel spray. I had to purchase the full-size bottle because I just couldn't get enough of it. But this fragrance is so beautiful. It's a light, fresh, fruity, floral fragrance. It's really mainly on the floral side though. The notes in here are Turkish rose. There's a little bit of pear in here, some strawberry. There's also some sandalwood and a little bit of white musk. This is a nice, fresh, airy fragrance. Again, it has hints of that rose that I really enjoy and the strawberry, but it's very airy. It's not super thick and dense. It's just like the perfect summertime, springtime fragrance. Definitely one that I would wear when I'm at the pool, going swimming, or just sitting out in the sun. This is definitely like the type of vibe that I would go for. This is really feminine. It's very sweet. It's very flirtatious. I would also wear this during the daytime if I'm going to like brunch or just, you know, doing like a casual vibe during the day. It's absolutely beautiful. BDK can do no wrong in my eyes. I love me some BDK fragrances, and Bouquet de Hungry is no different from any of the other ones that I'm obsessed with. But yeah, this fragrance smells so good, and I have been reaching for it quite often in May. I'll be wearing it all summer. I actually put this one in my summertime fragrance video, so I'll link that for you if you're interested in checking that one out. This definitely made the cut. It made the cut last year and it's making the cut this year as well. So again, this is from BDK Fragrances and it is called Bouquet de Hungry. So this last fragrance that I have been wearing like crazy and I wore in May, it has been included in my favorites. Honestly, since I got it out the package, I've just been spraying it like nobody's business, is Sunset Hour from Goldfield and Banks. Ugh, y'all. I just can't get enough of this fragrance. Now, this fragrance has one of my favorite notes in it, which is peach. I love me some peach. And this fragrance is very juicy and very delicious, but it's also got some warmth to it as well. It's not like a super immature, juicy fragrance, but in here there is peach. There's also some raspberry. There's jasmine sandalwood. There's also a little bit of sandalwood in this fragrance and some musk. I feel like there's a trend here. I feel like most of the fragrances that I wore in May have musk and they also have some fruity notes, but this one also has ginger and pink pepper. Pink pepper is actually one of my favorite notes, and the pink pepper mixed with the peach, like, it's a vibe for me. This is a sweet fruity fragrance, but once it dries down it does become a tad bit woody, even just a little musky, but I cannot get enough of this. Okay, when I think about summertime, when I think about warm weather, I just automatically think about this fragrance. When I smell it, it makes me want to just be outside sipping on a glass of lemonade, my feet propped up or my feet in the pool. That's what this fragrance makes me think about, makes me feel, and it's all the vibe. So if you have not been able to check out Sunset Hour by Goldfield and Banks, I highly recommend it. It is an amazing fragrance and it's absolutely beautiful. All right, y'all, so those were the fragrances that I was gravitated towards and wore quite a bit in the month of May. Comment down below though and let me know, what fragrances have you been into recently, or ones that you plan on wearing as we transition into the summer. Y'all know I'm nosy and I'm also just very curious. You know, I like to know what y'all are wearing. So I thank y'all though for watching this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed, of course. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. I'll also link all of the fragrances mentioned in this video down below in the description box, along with my social media handles. My TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter will be linked as well. Again, thank y'all so much for watching this video. I hope you have a great one and I will talk to you later. Bye.